Ladies and gentlemen, how the devil are we all doing? It's TNG, and in this video I've got 5 random and pretty cool camps to show you. Now then, all of these builds have been found by my good friend Silver Bunny whilst wandering Appalachia, and like I say, they're totally random. These haven't been submitted to me in any way, shape or form. So with that being said, let's stop knobbing around and take a look at them. Right, so first up we've got the Frenzy Peak Lookout by Hoobeza, and right off the bat I love how you've turned this little watchtower into a homestead. Now believe it or not, the basics of this build are really simple. All you gotta do is get the Fire Watchtower, which is a prefab, and place some walls down around it. It really is that easy. Now just because it's a rather simple build doesn't mean it's not impressive. I think Hoobeza's done a bloody good job with this thing. You know, it's lore friendly, it's immersive, it fits in with the Wasteland nicely, in my opinion. It's a really solid use at Watchtower that, mate. Fair play to you. So, on to decor, and again, I think Hoobeza's done an half-decent job on it. We've got quite a bit of shit knocking around on the outside of the build, and the interior is, yeah, again, fairly well decorated. Now, yes, it's not packed full to the rafters with shit like you see on a lot of lore-friendly builds. However, the Watchtower isn't the easiest prefab to decorate. There's not much space. It could easily become an overly decorated build, if that makes any sense. Overall, though, I think this builder's totally nailed this one. It's scrappy, it's lore-friendly, and it looks reasonably well put together. Now, the second build we're looking at is the Dojo of the Shell, and this is by the Real Dodie? The Real Dodie? I don't know. Mispronounced names aside, this build is actually really nice. Obviously, it's got that temple, Japanesey kind of vibe to it, hasn't it? Wouldn't be much of a dojo without that influence, in my opinion. Although I'm sure there's many different nationalities of dojo. Sorry, I'm waffling. So, exterior-wise, yes, I absolutely love the roof pieces. Like I say, that is very temple-y, very Japanesey, and I do like the shape of the place as well. The one thing I'm not a fan of, though, is the exposed foundations. They would look so much better with underpinnings, but other than that, yeah, it's a fairly solid recreation of a dojo. Because, yeah, you know, I've been in many of them, so I'm an authority on it. Nope, that's a lie. My favourite part of this build is actually the interior of it. Doddy! As Buddy killed it, in my opinion. Take a look at that little pond in the centre. That is a nice little, you know, that's a nice little area. And you know what? To be 100% honest with you, the rest of the decor isn't that bad either. I'm loving that samurai power armour there as well. Yeah, it's actually quite a nice build, this one. I love the shape of it, I love the theme of it. Yeah, top marks, mate. Now, the third build is quite aptly named the Tanios, because it's tiny. I know, it makes sense, doesn't it? Now, this brilliant little creation is done by Brahmin Noodles. And what can I say about it? Well, it's a little bit of everything, isn't it? I mean, right off the bat, I love the garden. I like how you've sunk the wavy willards boulders into the foundations to make stepping stones. I'm loving that. I'm also really impressed with the amount of effort you've taken to make your little garden area as well. Again, you've been doing some foundation merging, and yeah, it's turned out really nicely. So the structure itself is quite unique. As you can see, we've got a load of the slopey boy windows being used, which is nice. To be honest with you don't see them very often. And apart from that, there's not really much more to say about it. It's that tiny. We've pretty much looked at it in one shot. Now, interior wise, this place is rather nicely decorated. You know, you can see you've taken a little bit of time to get it looking just right. Got some cool little tricks going down. And yeah, overall, I think this is a fairly solid little build. Like I say, I absolutely love the garden. That's my favourite bit about it. But I do also like the uniqueness of the place. Well done, fair play to you. Right then, so this next build is the Free States Outpost by Lord Dragon 277, and wow, this is actually quite substantial. We're going to have to take a closer look at this one. There is quite a lot bloody going on here. So, obviously, the first thing that stands out is the centerpiece, the Boeing Super Fortress, is it? I don't know. Plain nerds, let me know down in comments. Anyway, what I was saying is, there's not many people that seem to use this prefab. And I get it, you know, it is quite a niche piece of kit. It's not going to fit in with many builds, but personally, I think it works really well here. What it looks like to me, Dragon, is somebody's found this abandoned plane in the middle of the mire and they've built a settlement round it, which is very Wastelandy, you know, using what you've got available to you. And you know what, while we're on the subject of your little settlement, I love how you've made it. You know, the shape is rather unusual. That makes it stand out. You've not just built a bloody rectangle or something. And I also really like the uniqueness of the buildings. Again, you've not just put down a square bloody blob. You've put a bit of, you know, detail into it, a little bit of blueprint action. I can respect that. Now, on the decor front, yeah, it's half decent. I think the structure itself is the main feature of it, though. But yeah, I can't see anything wrong with it. There's nothing offensive. You know, like a bloody Grognat statue or a lit-up Nuka-Cola bottle in the corner. Nah, it's fairly solid. Now, our last build is by Gaming with BKJ, and it's the Toys R Us camp. And, right, this thing's colourful. Jesus. It's like fucking Joseph in his Technicolor Dreamcoat, but I'm not saying that's a bad thing, it's just bright. Let's have a bit more of an in-depth look. Now, the structure, I love the shape of this thing, and I like the window at the front especially. That's really cool, that. It's like a bloody kaleidoscope or something. The arse end of it's pretty well spot on too. I mean, we've got some Aquanova-esque stair post architecture there. I'm not quite sure what else to call it, but again, it's different, and in my opinion, it looks bloody awesome. Now, as well as that rather striking exterior, the interior of this place is really nicely done. I said the camp's name was Toys R Us, and that's exactly what you're bloody well getting. I mean, take a look at it. You can tell a load of time has been put into this interior, and it is, honestly, really nicely done. It's also very bright, but again, if it's a toy shop, you want it bright. You don't want it looking like a fucking mortuary, do you? Overall, mate, I think you've done a bloody decent job on this. The exterior does stand out. It's different. There's a couple of cool tricks been used, but that interior and its explosion of colours, yeah, that's what really catches the eye. You're not missing this place. Yeah, not a bad job on this one, mate. And that about wraps it up, guys. What did you think of these 5 random camps? Like I say, they've not been submitted to me. This is what's just out there in Wasteland. All you gotta do is look for them. As ever, I'd like to say a massive thank you to my good friend Dale and Silver Bunny. These two guys work like, I don't know, work like ants to find these camps for me, and they ask for nothing in return. So guys, please head on over to the channels and show them some love. I'll leave a link in description. Also, I can't forget my fantastic channel members and Patreons. Trust me guys, the extra support means so much to me, and thank you for continuing to, well, support me. Anyhow, you beautiful bunch, as we say it north, I love you and leave you, and I'll catch you at next one. Have fun.